everybody. Today we are going to be reading another story. We're going to be reading a story called Peekos Bill. And we are in our Tall Tales. So that is a story that was told long time ago. And it is written down now so then we can read it and tell the story today. And in the story of Paul Bunyan yesterday, we saw exaggeration. And the word exaggeration is to make something kind of more dramatic. So if we're talking about something like in Paul Bunyan, they said it was so cold that the ox turned blue. He wouldn't really actually turn blue. He would probably just be pretty cold. If I was out in the cold, my hair is brown. My hair would not turn blue when I got cold. So that is exaggerating. I am saying, oh my goodness, I am so cold. I am now blue, like the ox turned blue. So, in this story, we're going to see exaggeration, and I want you guys to listen closely and see if you can find some examples. Okay. Oh no. This thing falls off. Okay. The greatest cowboy that ever lived was the one they called Peekos Bill. Bill was born in East Texas and might have lived there forever, but one day his pa came home running out the house shouting to his ma, "Pack up everything we got." There's neighbors moved in near about 50 miles away and it's getting too crowded around here. So Bill's folks loaded a covered wagon with everything they owned and headed west. It was a long, hard journey. The children were packed in the back of the wagon, all 18 of them. They fussed and hollered as the wagon bounced along. The children were so loud, Bill's ma said you couldn't hear the thunder over the noise. One day, the wagon hit a rock and little Bill fell right out. And with all of his fussing and fighting, nobody noticed. The wagon kept going, so little Bill found himself sitting in the dirt along the banks of Peekos River. It's a real river. And that's how he became Peekos Bill. But that was later on. Little Bill was not your average baby. He didn't cry. He just crawled along the dusty plain, keeping his eyes peeled for whatever came along. And the first thing to come along was a coyote. That's the coyote. When the coyote saw the dirty, naked little creature crawling on all fours, she thought he was a cute little animal, even if his ears were mighty small. Little Bill reached up and patted the coyote's head and said, "Nice doggy." Okay, so do we really think this all happened or do you think it's kind of being exaggerated? Okay. The coyote, liked Little Bill. She took him home and raised him with her pups. The coyote taught Bill to roam the prairies and howl at the moon. They taught him the little secrets of hunting, how to leap like an antelope and run like the wind. They taught him how to chase lizards and lie so still that he was almost invisible. The years went by, 18 of them to be exact, and Bill grew up strong and healthy. One day, he was out hunting along Peekos River when he saw the most unusual sight. It seemed to be a big animal on all fours. Or was it 6 legs? And why did it have one head in front and another on top? What do we think he sees? So it has 2 heads, 4 legs, a cowboy. Well, it turned out to be a horse with a man riding it, something Bill had never seen before. Bill scurried around the horse a few times, then slowly crept forward and took a sniff of the man's boot. "Boy," said the man, "what are you doing, scampering around down there in your birthday suit?" What does it mean if he's wearing his birthday suit? It means he doesn't have any clothes on. "Sniffing," said Bill. "I'm a coyote." "No, you ain't," said the man. "You're a man, like me." "No," howled Bill. "Coyote." "What makes you think you're a coyote?" said the man. "I have fleas," said Bill. "So what?" said the man. "Lots of men in here in Texas have fleas." Bill was not persuaded, so he didn't believe him. He was sure that he was a coyote. "Here's the thing," said the man. "Coyotes have pointy ears and big bushy tails, and you don't." "Yes, I do," cried Bill. He sure felt as he had a tail like the other coyotes. He looked over his shoulder, but he couldn't see one. He reached back to grab his tail, but he could not feel one. He backed up to the river and looked for his tail in the reflection, but it was not there. Bill was surprised. He thought for a moment. Then he decided that the man must be right. He didn't have a tail. He couldn't be a coyote. If he wasn't a coyote, he must be a man. Bill decided he'd have to say farewell to his four-legged friends and try to live as a man. He went to stay with the man, who just so happened to be a cowboy. The man gave Bill some clothes to wear and a horse to ride. He also gave him a nickname, Pecos Bill. At first, Pecos was trying to live like a man. He couldn't stand the way the clothes scratched and pulled on his skin, or the way the boots came between his bare feet and the good old dirt, and he couldn't see the need for a knife or a fork, and it was just easy to use your fingers to eat your meat and tear it with your teeth. Bill learned to act like a man, but he still had a spark of wildness in him, and it would flash out from time to time. One day he was riding on his horse when he was surprised by a mountain lion. The mountain lion scared Bill's horse and charged right at Bill. But Pecos Bill was too quick for that mountain lion. He dodged that big cat and hopped right onto his back. There's him on his back. Pecos grabbed the rattler by the neck and squeezed him hard. And he wriggled by his grip. "Say, Uncle, if you've had enough," said Bill. "Uncle," said the snake, gurgling out the sounds the best he could. Bill relaxed his grip a bit and asked the rattler, "Who's the boss around here?" "I was," said the snake, "but now you are." "Well then," said Pecos Bill, "how do you like to work for me?" The rattler looked at Bill in admiration and purred like a kitten. He squeezed all of the meanness out of the snake. Next, Pecos rolled the rattler into a coil and rode away on his mountain lion. On the way back to the camp, he spotted a runaway cow. He grabbed the rattler and tied a loop at the end to make a lasso. Then he rode the cow, swinging the lasso above his head. When he was close enough, he tossed the loop end of the snake over the cow. Pecos Bill jumped right off the mountain lion, pulled the lasso tight, stopping the runaway cow in his tracks. He brought the cow back to his friend, the cowboy. After that, he taught all the cowboys how to use a lasso and catch a runaway cow. He taught them other things like how to tame wild horses by riding them, just as he did with the mountain lions. He even taught them how to sing cowboy songs at the campfire at night in a voice that sounded a lot like a lonesome coyote howling at the moon. Pecos Bill is famous for his riding skills. So he could ride animals. That's right, Pecos Bill lassoed a cyclone with his rattlesnake lasso and jumped on its rip-roaring back. The cyclone spun furiously, trying to throw Bill off. It went spinning way and way across the deserts of Arizona. Didn't let it spin itself out of energy by the time the two of them had carved out a deep canyon. If you ever go to Arizona, you can still see that canyon today. It's called the Grand Canyon.